What's going on, masculine family? I want to talk about one thing in this video, and that is she's still bothered by the breakup. Why doesn't she come back? I have a student that I was talking to yesterday. They were extremely thrown about what was going on in their situation. So the first thing was they obviously were together. Everything was cool, everything was going right and well. And then out of nowhere, he gets blindsided, right? And that's always how it goes. It's usually she's been thinking about breaking up with you for quite some time. She's been pondering what's been going on. And usually that comes from this. There will be a moment in time where this begins. She'll feel something about you emotionally that's just off. Maybe it's negativity, right? You could be complaining about something. You could be, as a man, right? Her looking at you. So imagine, I'm thinking from her perspective, right? She's looking at you. Maybe you're gaining some weight and you're complaining. You're not getting shit done. You're just not as attractive as you could. You're not living up to your potential, your attraction potential, right? So you're not living up to that. And you're not doing everything you can to be the best person that you can be. And there's a certain threshold that certain people are willing to deal with. Once you cross that threshold, they will want to separate from you. So what they do is they'll look at you in that situation, and then they'll feel that way. It's nothing they can stop, right? They'll just be like, oh, okay, that's not really very attractive. And then what they'll do is it'll happen again. And they won't tell you that it's happening, but it happens, right? So it'll happen again, and then it'll happen again, and it'll happen again, and then again. And by the time you notice that she's slowly been distancing herself from you emotionally, right? It's way too late. And a lot of guys get upset about that, but that isn't for them. They are who they are and what they are. And we are the ones that have to learn and understand the cues and the subtleties. And this stuff isn't taught in school. This stuff is definitely not taught in movies. It's actually the opposite. That's usually the how the breakup gets to where it is. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on that. And then once somebody feels something once a woman feels something emotionally over and over and over and over and over and over again, she'll eventually logically go, why am I with this guy? And then she leaves. The title of this video usually goes into the situation of anybody who's still in contact with their ex. So yes, you should be in no contact, but some people don't do it. Sometimes it's not always the ideal situation because maybe you have kids, or maybe you have, you're sharing the same space and it's just awkward. It's weird. As long as you're not professing your undying love and asking her to get married and doing all these crazy things after a breakup, because that does happen, that's usually the best course of action, just to remain still and just don't pour out. Just try to remain stoic and hard. Now, if you were too stoic, or maybe you didn't express your emotions enough, then of course you're going to think, oh my God, I need to pour it all out there and tell her that she's the best thing in the world. It's usually just a slight shift is all you need to do, okay? If you're in that situation. But anybody who's still in contact, this can happen to you. So you guys are in contact, you guys are texting each other back and forth, which is usually what people do too much texting, not enough date setting, not enough seeing each other, killing the mystery. So what ends up happening is you guys will have a conversation, and then out of nowhere, she'll be like, oh, this breakup, why did this have to happen? And she'll start going into that bullshit. Okay. Men who usually do the coaching stuff with me will be like, why the fuck doesn't she just come back then? Right? And here's where all of you guys are confused. If she left because of a specific reason, something that you were doing, and you swear, right? You're like, oh my God, things are going to change. Things are going to change. We all know, every human being knows that change takes time. You want to lose a whole bunch of weight, takes time. You want to change you want to change your money situation, and you want to create an online business, all that shit takes time. Changing your personality takes time, and subconsciously all of us humans, especially women, know that. So that's why when you promise to change and be better, you'll start out well, but habits are difficult to break. Old habits die hard, right? So that's why she's going to be reluctant to come back to you. You wonder why she won't come back. She's going to think it's the same negative thing, and she's also having a difficult time separating from you too, right? So she's thinking, you know what, this isn't going to change. Me coming back it's going to make me feel better in the short term, but it's not going to make me feel the best in the long term, and because how you guys got here to where you are. So in her mind and in her emotions, of course, we all know that she's going to be like, okay, this isn't going to work, and there's no point in going back down this road. That's what she's thinking. So anybody who's confused by that, that's what's going to be happening. But she's also afraid to lose you too. She doesn't want you to date anybody else, right? She doesn't want you to be, running around just slaying all kinds of ass, right? So that's where a lot of guys get confused behind this statement, right? Oh my God, I'm so bothered. This is her speaking. Oh my God, I'm so bothered by the breakup. And you're like, well, why don't we just get back together? Right? So on a subconscious level, we all know it takes time to change, and the relationship habits will come back. You guys argued a lot, right? One person, right? There's two individuals. One individual is going to make, half the relationship, right? And so is the other individual. So a relationship is obviously the 1 + 1 = 2 part. So when someone, right, when one individual has really bad habits, really bad communication issues, or they have baggage from a previous relationship or whatever, they're bringing that forward into the relationship. So when someone's like, I promise to change, they have to change a lot themselves as individuals. So it's very difficult for a relationship to thrive after it's already been broken, because those two people have a lot of change to do. And it's very difficult to just do that overnight. So that's why it takes that much time. So that's why every single student that comes to me, every one of them, I say, you need to be reading. And I'll drop them a document through Telegram, because I do all my coaching through Telegram, right? I'll drop them a document and I say, pick up all 6 of these required books and read them. And yeah, students don't like that because they're like, oh my God, I got to do work. But then I'm like, look, and I explain it to them. How different would you be really? Because you obviously don't understand how to sustain attraction. You don't understand when this is most students, you don't understand how to see if she's even losing attraction for you. And I never want you guys to go through this ever again. Okay? I never want you to go through this again, ever. And when you know all this stuff, you understand first. So these 3 things you need to understand the most: attraction, female nature, and yourself. So when I say yourself, because it's a cliche thing, oh my God, understand yourself, find yourself, right? What I'm talking about is, what is your purpose? What do you want to do here? What is your, and you don't have to have a singular thing. Maybe it's a small little dent you're trying to make. However, being driven, being ambitious is very attractive, right? Showing up and doing your thing is very attractive. Creating, right? Being a creative person, right? And following through. These are masculine traits. So it's going to be very important for you to find out what you want to be doing every day. It doesn't need to be this big grand thing. It can be small, starting a blog, right? It can be small like that. It can bring you very big rewards, but it's going to be small like that. So what? It doesn't have to be big, as long as you're doing something every single day that you love to do. And that is, I think, the point of life, right? Do what you want, do what you love. Do you really want to be the next cog in somebody else's little machine, or do you want to have your own machine, right? So that's what the whole part 3 of that whole workshop, I guess you want to call it, what I get you to focus on is yourself. And working on yourself is, again, another cliche saying that in the breakup community and the breakup videos, work on yourself, do this. Yes, you definitely should be hitting the gym. You should be lifting weights. You should be walking. You should be doing all this stuff. You should also be dissecting your life and looking at what's working and what isn't working. And with women, you're going to really want to focus on attraction and female nature. It's that simple. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Coaching is down below. Course is down below. Done.